Markets pull back on bond turbulence and renewed tariff concerns. So relative to the last few weeks, it was slower on the news side, but markets end lower anyways on debt and tariff concerns. So let's recap. We came into the week off a surge from the US-China tariff pause. Monday opened lower after Friday's US debt downgrade. It was only dropped one notch from the highest AAA quality rating, but compounded concerns with the US's planned budget deficit increase and ongoing policy shifts. Bonds popped higher, but retail investors helped stocks rebound for a sixth straight green day. That optimism, though, began to waver on Tuesday. Again, a slower news week, but lots of Fed speakers noting varying levels of continuing economic concerns, as well as still likely to see near-term inflation. Then Wednesday, the bond market fears continued after a very weak 20-year treasury bond auction. Essentially, higher interest rates were needed to sell the notes, which signals weak demand for U.S. debt. Markets tumbled on Wednesday amid bond market fears. However, Thursday was more mixed as the 3-day Treasury interest rate pressure waned. Which leads us to Friday. Unfortunately, tariff threats are back. First, as mentioned before, the EU negotiations appears to be going nowhere. The White House is now threatening that they don't want a deal and calling for 50% tariffs as soon as June 1st. In addition, the White House is threatening 25% tariffs on Apple for all iPhones not built in America. With the renewed tariffs drama, Friday ends red with another step down for the week. So what's next? Well, it'll be a shorter week with the Memorial Day holiday on Monday. However, lots of macro data on tap, including both consumer confidence and sentiment. In addition, Friday's tariffs threats may be a preview of upcoming White House talking points. We're about halfway into the everyone but China 90-day tariffs delay, and only the UK has announced any agreement with the US. It appears EU talks have broken down, and we wouldn't be surprised if others have as well. The China tariffs pause boosted recent market optimism, but the threat of tariffs bringing a recession still isn't off the table by any means. We believe actual deal progress is needed, or we could potentially retest April lows again. We'll see what next week brings, but in the meantime, have a great Memorial Day weekend.